Hey there, groovy human. Welcome to another Roots of Peace yoga practice. I'm Chelsea, this is Luna, and we're so happy you're here. Today's practice is gonna focus on allergy relief. And if you have a stuffy nose, because 'tis the season, September is here, yay September. Fall is my favorite season for so many reasons. You can tell by all the fancy fall decorations I have out. September 1st in my world is fall. I know it's not till the end of the month. My husband reminds me of this all the time. Anyway, with fall comes allergies, cold and flu season, so it's a good time to have some practices in your toolkit to help with your lungs, get your lung health up, and to help with your sinuses. So for today's practice, you'll need your mat, of course, and 2 blocks and a bolster. And if you don't have blocks and or a bolster, a firm pillow, anything that's kind of like this, and then you can have like a big firm pillow, or you can roll a blanket if you need to, and you'll make it work. I know you will. You're super innovative. So with that, grab the props. Again, as I said, we're gonna focus on relieving you of any allergy symptoms. And if you don't suffer from allergies, this is still a good practice to have just to help strengthen up your lungs and build some immunity before we get into winter weather, because I know it's coming. So grab what you need, and I will see you on the mat. All right, we're gonna start in a comfortable seated position for this practice. As I said, it's about allergies and trying to clear the lungs and the sinuses. So what we're gonna do first and foremost, as Luna's clicking around, we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. So how this works is make sure you wash your hands first and foremost before you touch your face. Hygiene is great. And then what you're gonna do is take your left or right hand, whichever one is more comfortable. I'm left-handed, so that's my dominant hand. But you're just gonna take your thumb and your pointer finger or your middle finger, whichever is most comfortable. And you're gonna start by plugging the left nostril. So then you're gonna inhale through the right nostril, plug the right nostril, and exhale through the left. And then inhale through the left nostril, plug the left, open the right, and exhale through the right nostril. So it's an inhale through the open nostril, and then switch, and then exhale through the other one. Inhale through the one you just breathed in, and exhale to release through the one that you just had plugged. So you're going back and forth, right to left. One more on each side. And there you go. So that's a great way to clean out the sinuses, also to become present and mindful by tapping into your breath. You have to pay attention to where you're breathing, when you're breathing, what finger's doing what. So it's just a good all-around tool to have in your tool belt. So with that, I'm gonna have you lie on back into half corpse pose. We'll be doing lots of back bends today, as I said in the intro. So once you're in half corpse pose, plant those feet nice and firm. Inhale to lift the hips for bridge. Deep belly breaths here. Bridge pose is really good because it's technically a back bend. So you're opening up the lungs, opening up the heart, making sure that your head is back so that your airway is open. A lot of people pull their chin to their chest in bridge pose, and it closes off your airway. So make sure that your neck is nice and neutral so that you can get lots of pranayama, lots of breath flowing through. And on your out breath, roll down slow and steady through the spine. We're gonna do a few rounds of 4-part moving bridge just for a little bit of motion. So you're gonna inhale to arch the back, drop the pelvis. A little bit of space between the back and the mat. I did this in one of my first practices on Patreon, and then exhale to push the back into the earth. So we're starting with pelvic tilts just to get a feel for this. So inhale to arch, exhale to flatten. Your pelvis is glued to the mat. You're just arching your back and pushing your belly up towards the sky. So these are the first 2 parts. So now we're gonna do all 4. So inhale to arch, exhale to flatten, push up into bridge. On your inhale, stay for the exhale. Another in-breath and out-breath, lower down as slow as you can. Control along the way. And we'll do it again, adding the arms this time. Inhale to arch, exhale to flatten. As you push up into bridge pose, you can take your arms back behind you, give your shoulders some love. You might feel your chest open up a little bit more if you do this. And then exhale to drop it back down. We're gonna do 2 more rounds, your pace. So do your thing. If you're not quite going at my tempo, totally fine. And release back down. 1 more round. So this practice is also really good if you get stuffy, if you get a cold or something like that, or if there's smoke in your area, like fire smoke that really drives my sinuses nuts. So you can do this practice even if you're stuffy from other things. All right, so from here we're gonna take a nice big happy baby just to get things stretching and moving so you can rock side to side. This pose is just for fun. Again, just to get you moving. I'll throw in some stuff that isn't really pertinent to your lungs or your sinuses, but just part of the practice. 3 more breaths where you're at. And as you breathe out, drop the knees into the chest, few side to side rocks. You can come back to center. You're gonna find your blocks. So we're gonna do supported fish pose. And there's a few different ways you can do this. So grab your blocks or your bolster. If you've done fish pose before, assume the position, go for it. If you haven't, I'm gonna show you several modifications. So the first one is just have 1 block. It'll go roughly in between your shoulder blades. So with legs straight, you'll lower back down and allow the head to drop back onto the mat or your bun. Mine's kickstanding up a little bit, so that's helpful. However, if you have a tight neck, this might not feel very good for you, and that's the case with me. So if that's not doing it for you, you can add that second block, and then your head will rest on the block. So then you're not quite cranking back, but what fish pose does is it again opens up the chest, opens up the lungs, allows for more air to get in there and for drainage to happen. And with your head tilted back, if you're in the first modification I showed you, it may help drain your sinuses because you're not upright, so you're backwards compared to how you normally are. And that can help drain the sinuses. Sometimes that adds pressure, and I'll explain that more when we get into inversions in just a little bit. Your last modification for fish pose is you can also do it on your bolster. So if you have a bolster or like a big hard pillow, you can do fish pose on your bolster. Oh, which feels oh so lovely. This is pretty luxurious, I'm not gonna lie. And then whatever modification you pick, you can have your legs straight or you can bend them. So whatever feels best for your body. And we're gonna take 3 breaths here now that we're all settled, and maybe you've been settled the whole time and that's totally fine. Fish pose is awesome for allergies and stuffy noses. You can slowly make your way upright. Whatever props you used, you can take them off to the side. And then we're gonna swoop around to our cat-cows. So land on all 4s. You're gonna inhale to come into cow, exhale to round up to cat, staying with the breath as you go. And just taking care, being mindful with your movements. You always wanna pay attention to what you're doing. Most of the time when we injure ourselves during the day or during our exercise, it's because we're not paying attention. We're thinking about something else. So really staying present on your mat so that you can get everything you want to out of your practice, but also so you don't get injured. Because I've totally done that before and it's no fun. So take 2 more rounds of your cat-cow.